for the entrepreneurs, not just in Tamil Nadu, from across India who have been part of it. We are an 850 strong member entrepreneur community across India, and the Chennai chapter was started in 2018. So huge focus on Chennai chapter with focus on neighboring cities in and around Chennai as well. What we would like to do today is introduce you to some of our members, two of our members from the Chennai chapter, and take it from there on. It's my pleasure to invite Gayatri Vishwanathan, Director at Marga Systems Private Limited, a software technology company specialized in building business applications. She and her husband, both Venki, are directors of the company and are members of Ascent in different trust groups since December 2019. Gayatri, can we have you on the stage? Invite Mahim Gupta, Managing Director at PPFMS Field Marketing Private Limited, providing merchandising and promoter business in India retail. Mahim has been an Ascent member since October 2018. His company works across 600 plus markets for leading brands in the FMCG, mobility, durables, liquor, and the toy sector for both modern and general trade channels. Mahim, can we please have you on stage? A man who needs no introduction, founder of Marico Limited, Kaya Limited, Marico Innovation Foundation, Mariwala Health Initiative, and of course Ascent, and the author of the most selling book, Harsh Realities. Can we have you please? What I'd like to do is introduce Ascent. I would like Mr. Mariwala to start by talking about why he started Ascent 10 years back, the ethos behind it, his philosophy behind it, and what did he expect out of Ascent in the last 10 years, and where do you see us going in the next 10 years?
So, thank you very much, Archana, and thank you all for taking the trouble to attend this event. I know it's been raining here in parts of Chennai. I think that's led to some degree of delays on our side because some of you couldn't come on time to have traffic, but I'm happy that many of you have been able to make it. I'll go back 10 years, more than 10 years, and there was a desire, at some stage in your life, you want to give something back to society, and that urge goes on increasing as you age, as I reckon, It started happening with that. With me, when I was young, I wanted to build a business, make money, but at some stage when you've done all that, then you say that, okay, what is life? Or what am I going to do? I think that I was searching for something to give back something to the society, and not just a financial contribution, but something which I can add value. And in terms of giving my time, involved in terms of managing that, being passionate about it, and able to add value through my time devotion to that particular cause. So I have always had a very, very strong belief in entrepreneurs and what they can do for India. We have seen the rise of unicorns, new age entrepreneurs coming in from smaller towns without any business background. And it's just multiplying. This is just the beginning in our opinion. If India has to grow to a $5 trillion economy, ultimately the entrepreneurs will make it happen. So they are a very, very important part of India's growth story. And if that happens, you will see a new India. New India in terms of job creation, in terms of overall respect internationally, in terms of happiness, in terms of adding value to each and every part of the society, And then extra resources which will get generated because of higher growth rates can fund a lot of our current areas which need a lot of support, whether it's education, healthcare, agriculture. A lot needs to be done, but because governments hand that tight, and because they are not able to generate that much of resources, the economy is not that large. I think they are investing in those needs which require to be improved. And ultimately the standard of living has to improve, the purchasing power parity has to improve, And all that, at the root cause is because Indian growth is not matching what we can do. I strongly believe that India has all the necessary, should I say, building blocks, and now the government also has reduced its role in terms of allowing a lot of freedom to entrepreneurs to drive growth. I think ultimately it is in our hands as entrepreneurs to drive it. So when it came again going back 10 years back to deciding what should I be doing, I said I should do something which is relevant for entrepreneurs to scale up, to learn from each other. And in the last 10 years, from virtually started in Bombay, very small numbers, but it's gone on adding. Every year we are able to add about anywhere from 50 to 100 entrepreneurs to our total number of entrepreneurs. We started in Chennai about 4 years back, and today we are 100 plus in Chennai and neighboring towns. And we, many members who are attached to the Chennai chapter are coming from smaller towns like Salem, Madurai, Mahabalipuram, Pondicherry, Coimbatore. So we are seeing that these small towns have a, I think they have a greater need because their ability to get inputs, whether it's a consultant or whether it's some knowledge gap they may have, is much higher there because they don't have the ecosystem compared to a Chennai ecosystem. So if they are a part of Ascent, then their learning by just being associated with Ascent will be huge. And what happens in the model which she will explain to you, but I think the whole model is based on peer learning, where each entrepreneur learns from other entrepreneurs through regular interactions. And I think if that increases, then we will see a huge impact on overall success of entrepreneurs. Even in times of difficulties through COVID, we also took a lot of steps in terms of helping entrepreneurs, starting with issues relating to mental health and anxiety, the stress, to cash flow issues, legal issues. So Ascent has played a very, very important role in holding hands with all the entrepreneurs, helping them learn from each other, having events like this morning we had a huddle session talking about marketing strategy, having webinars, conclaves. We also have a conclave coming up in Bombay. So we add a lot of value, and I'm sure we have Ascent members from Chennai, they will be able to speak much better than what I'm saying because they are the recipients and they are a part of this ecosystem. So with that, all I can say is that I'm very happy to do this in Tamil Nadu. As part of Marico, we have a strong presence in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the biggest supplier of copra, which is used for our parachute coconut oil. We have a factory in Kavandarai, we have collection centers, we do a lot of work with Tamil Nadu farmers in terms of agricultural extension, which also adds a lot of value to them because it helps them improve productivity. So Tamil Nadu is very, very dear to Marico, to me, because of its close association with Marico and because of country. And also now I'm separately, on a personal level, I'm also building a house in Kunur, which is one of my favorite places. So I think that all that made us come to Chennai and start this chapter. So with that, I hand over to Varsna, and then she'll explain to you much more in detail what Ascent has taught.
Thank you, Mr. Marivana. So, like Mr. Marivana mentioned, we are a peer learning format which allows entrepreneurs to meet in a very structured way, month on month, and learn from each other on a one-on-one engagement with each other. There are three levels of selection process we have. The filtration process allows us to focus on entrepreneurs who have a certain kind of time commitment, discipline, and certain mindset to be part of Ascent, which is very, very critical. This also allows us to be different from the other ecosystems out there based for the entrepreneurs, which is predominantly focused on the learning, and hence it's a non-transactional model, especially in the trust groups. We are 850 members strong. 46-54 is the split between manufacturing and service industries being represented. 44% of our cohort are family managed businesses, and 21 to 67 is the age spectrum that we have at Ascent. So we are growing, on an all India level. Like Mr. Marivana mentioned, we were a Mumbai chapter in 2018. We came to Chennai in 2012. We came to Chennai in 2018. And in 2020, pandemic allowed us to make this model more inclusive and take it to a larger audience. So today we have representation from 50 cities and towns across India who are part of Ascent. So that could be even entrepreneurs from Srinagar, Coach Bihar, Hubli. So we kind of are looking at this being a very, very inclusive model for entrepreneurs who are focused on learning from each other. And that's where our focus is. Now, as Mr. Mariwala mentioned, that what we work is peer learning, what we call trust groups. But over and above the trust groups also, we have created value for the entrepreneurs, whether it's mentoring and coaching that they're looking at. He mentioned about mental health as a very active and a valuable conversation which is happening within the cohort as well. And of course, the knowledge sessions that we do throughout the year. So we do anywhere between 12 to 14 such knowledge sessions, highly curated events which allows the entrepreneurs to have great takeaways and which they can implement back in business. This forum and model is open only for promoters and founders of organizations, which are all SMEs and MSMEs, which means we're looking at a certain turnover and a certain growth potential of these organizations which are represented. These are some of the criteria that based on which we do the selection process. That's the only entry barrier to Ascent is the huge filtration process that we have. We are also, like Mr. Mariwala mentioned, this annual conclave that we do. It's a large format event in 2019 which we did in person in Mumbai. Saw 600 entrepreneurs attending from across the country. This year we're taking it double. In fact, we're expecting 1,200 attendees to come and join us. We have a great lineup of speakers. We have M. Chandrasekharan from Chairman Tata Group. We have Boman Irani, the actor who's going to start the session for us. We have 4 sharks from the Shark Tank. You're familiar with the program in India. We have Vinita Singh, then Aman Gupta, Piyush Bansal, and Namita Thapar to be a part of it as well. We have the CEO of Meta India, that's Facebook, also coming. We have Anand Narayanan, who's founder of Mensa Brands, coming as well. So this is a huge conclave for us to bring in quality content, access to these great leaders and speakers for entrepreneurs, and very curated networking also for the entrepreneurs who are going to attend this. You can attend this virtually as well, and we will be happy to accommodate that for our media friends here today. This is on Thursday, 24th November at Geo Convention Center at DKC, Mumbai. Like I mentioned in the beginning, these are some of our numbers in terms of our 10-year celebration that we are doing this year. We complete 10 very successful years, and we hope we'll be able to, through the media friends, be able to take this model to more people. And it's of course their choice to be a part of it, and we look forward to you talking more about Ascent to the entrepreneurs out there. With that, I would hand over to Gayatri, who's an Ascent member since 2018. Gayatri, would you please share with the audience on your media experience, your Ascent experience?
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
So, my name is Gayatri. I am founder director of MATHIOLI. So I founded this along with my husband and first generation entrepreneurs. So we run in our organization, we are services business. We kind of provide business solutions for current enterprises, primarily low-code solutions. So before Ascent, right, my growth as an entrepreneur was primarily through reading. We used to read a lot of books, then interact with smaller subgroups of people that I knew and entrepreneurs together, and a lot of introspection. So I heard about Ascent from a friend, and then applied to join, and then actually joined in, I think 2020 was our first cohort meeting. And it was very special to meet a group of like-minded people. I mean, almost all of us are growth-oriented, thoughts are similar, and our trust group itself, made up of different types of industries, non-competitive, but it was also very interesting to meet people who are thinking similar to you. And the fact that it's non-competitive, it's like, we are together, it makes for very honest interactions within our own team. So we are able to share personal stories, we are able to share challenges, and it's also very interesting to see others cheer you when you have successes to share. You share about something that you did, and then there's someone else who's cheering you up, and they're so sharing with your happiness, and when you are able to do that with them as well. So that's a very, very special feeling that we had. And I would like to share a couple of specific takeaways I've had. One is like, I know Mr. Rivala talked about this. During the COVID time, it was very helpful to have these virtual sessions. There was one on talking about the mental health of entrepreneurs. I mean, we all thought about like, what our employees will feel, how do we hold them together, what do we do? Because we had no clue as to how long we will be shut. And how are you going to help them? What are you going to talk? But then also having a session talk about what an entrepreneur might feel, what we might have to go through, and then to give voice to that was very, very helpful. Similarly, we had another session. Personally, it was helpful for us, where we had a CFO come and talk to us about what are those critical, and someone with a lot of experience. And for someone like me who's been in business for probably about 16, 17 years, this is probably the first time we faced something like this, a crisis. And then having someone with experience come and talk about what could happen and what are those key parameters you have to keep on track and things like that was very helpful. Within the trust group itself, specifically we have, our organization is very consultative in terms of our selling. We don't go out to sell much, it's a lot more consultative, and our operational rigor itself is a little lesser. And we have one of my trust group members talk about how he was metricizing, how he was bringing in SOPs, and it was a presentation with much detail. And I could take it back to our organization, and then we looked at it with a very fresh set of eyes. We could look at our own operational processes and say, okay, what is it that we can do here? How can we become more efficient? And what came out of that was we went back, separated out our consulting practice from our actual delivery processes, hired someone who could handle delivery completely, and identify metrics that would work. And it took a few months, it took almost about 3-4 months to go ahead and do this, and I would report back on the progress. The advantage was from a time when some of these projects could take, say, maybe 2-3-4 months. From the time we complete our requirements, we deliver either between 3 to 6 weeks today. And that's super efficiency that I got out of trust. Personally, I benefit because I stepped out of my operational responsibilities, and now I have the time to think about a lot more strategic initiatives and take up some more responsibilities there. Personally as well, got very inspired by another trust group member. Like, typically we talk about everything. It's not just, as I think someone pointed out, we become like family. And then there is one of my trust group members who had goals not just as an entrepreneur, not just for his business, but he had goals on fitness, he had goals on spiritual growth, he had goals on family time spent. It was very inspirational, and in the last quarter, I had taken up specific goals on learning and development for personally. I had to take up a couple of certifications, and then personal fitness goals. And I've been able to make personal progress on all these areas as well, and that's because of the trust group. So to just put it together, what Ascent Trust Group and what Ascent has given me is a place where you can, and I think the methodology makes it happen, of absolute trust. You are amongst people who will have your back, thick or thin. You can actually share opportunities, ideas. They come back and give you honest feedback from their own experience. They tell you input saying, this is worked for me, this is not worked for me. You can take it back, experiment, come back and talk about it. And ultimately, it's trust that's been built step by step in a very consistent methodology, and I guess that's why it's called a trust group. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gayatri. Over to you, Mahin, to share your experience with them.
Thank you, Archana and Ms. Manvala, for having me here and participate in sharing whatever are my personal experiences with the Ascent process. I hope it builds on the effort that you as a group are trying to inculcate within the entrepreneur cohort in this country to support and make them stand out and seek a better future in their journeys as entrepreneurs. For me personally, I got introduced to this forum through another friend of mine over dinner in Bombay, and he happened to be a member of the Ascent Foundation, and he kind of told me that they were starting out in Chennai, and why don't you check that out? And very interestingly so, I found this is a very, very great place to be. The couple things that really stand out for me on why Ascent as a foundation or a support structure for entrepreneurs exists and helps entrepreneurs is from the fact that I think it is non-conflicted with the number of people that you have in your trust group. The other is that it is not transactional, right? It's very, very professional. You exist only to discuss about your personal life as one of the aspects of the business that you go through because you don't have an bouncing board. And very interestingly, one of the things that struck me in the detailing that was shared with me on the Ascent Foundation was that everybody else outside this group would be judgmental, or that your family would not be the right place because of emotive or other concerns that you would want to have on your personal or family well-being, that you would want to bring out your business challenges out in an open forum. And your friends would possibly get very judgmental about you, or your family or the larger family would get judgmental or very concerned about the state of your mind or the business perspective at that particular point in time. And one of the ways to sort that would be to discuss that on a forum which had a group of people with similar challenges and similar outlooks, right? Or would come back with their experiences and help you or support you understand your current problem or the work you've done, and bounce back and say whether you are in the right direction or what you should do to correct course. And I think that was a very, very strong fundamental which brought me into the Ascent Foundation, and I am happy to be, extremely happy in fact, to be a part of this. My personal experiences as a thing, I think there are two critical aspects of the group that you're part of. One is the experience and celebration of what you do in your personal or business life, right? If I can say that for a better word. One is, in each of the sessions that you go around in your own personal trust group, you are asked to share what's gone well and what's not gone well with you the past month. I think it forces you in some way to come out of your shell and speak about the days that have not been that good for you, right? And you may not be able to speak that out to other people, right? And here you are prompted to speak that out. And in doing so, what happens is a couple other people come in and then support you, right? Or speak up to you, or show you a journey or a pathway. And the other one would be basically we celebrate what you've done good, right? And that celebration kind of motivates you to do more of that or better. The second part of the trust group experience would be what I call learning. And learning in three fundamental methodologies, if I can define it as such. One is experiential within the group itself. That means people talk about a particular challenge or a good that has happened in the business and how they've achieved it, or the challenge or what they would seek support from. And the discussions around it basically become a learning for the group itself. The second set of learning would be basically the invitations that we have of outside speakers and experts who come into your group and tell you about particular areas that the group is interested and would like to learn about. And therefore there is somebody who tells you about, as a professional, of how they have, how you should go about dealing with that. So that's another area of learning. And the third area of learning, obviously, is a larger platform that Ascent by itself provides through professional engagements such as the one in this morning. I think, and the fourth I think is very important. Over the first section, one of the important questions that is asked every time in the group is everybody needs to tell the others of what is something unique they have learned or read. And for me personally, I think a lot of the books or, there could be spiritual reading, there could be business reading, or there could be any other psychological or philosophical, whatever reading, right, have come about from what others have read and what they've shared about those readings they've done. As a holistic outcome of all this, I think the larger piece is that you find strength in a body of people who share similar values and challenges, point one. You are able to reach out to people in times of concern and seek back references for yourself to see whether your anchors are in the right place, or otherwise build a better anchor. To give you examples, we've been fighting, and we were trying to build, or we're currently building actually a model of machine learning to recognize products on shelf. And this is AI ML-led product. And obviously my own technical team didn't have the expertise to do so, and this is a specialized area. When I reached out to my group, I had somebody come forward, refer me, somebody they know, and we finally partnered with them to help us with this product. Right, and we are in that journey. There is another instance where we wanted to hire somebody to help us build our HR practices on a better level. And that reference has also come through somebody who made a presentation to the group, and then we hired that gentleman to come on board as a consultant for us. Enough of those examples are on a daily basis that go on, and I'm sure mine is only a limited amount of what my other cohort members have learned from their experiences. What my suggestion to the entrepreneurs at large would be, and how I see them benefiting from this, is I think entrepreneurs need to open up and find a forum where they can deliberate and discuss problems without being concerned of whether this is going to be judged or land them in the wrong spot, right? Or go out in a particular way. A trust group is called a trust group for the simple reason that nothing goes beyond the boundaries of that room in which this was discussed. I think that's the foundational principle of the trust group. So in that, if that's stressed well enough, then I think entrepreneurs who find different challenges on which it's very, very difficult to go outside the boundaries of your own self and find support on, I think this comes like a big bouncing board for me. And I think that's very meaningful for me. And I think people should look forward to seeking that as an area of strength and support as they move ahead with their journey as an entrepreneur. The other one also is of looking at mediums of learning. I think that has been said again and again. The largest benefit that you could derive apart from the support structure is what you could learn and be able to deploy back in your own business and make a better business. I think that would be the second largest avenue of benefit that the foundation and the peer group what the trust group system would provide.
Thank you, Mohit. Just quickly a few numbers on Chennai chapter that was started in August 2018. We are 103 members from Chennai and neighboring cities, about 7 to 8 neighboring cities who are part of 9 trust groups, and we're expected to grow to 130 to 140 by March 2023. For us, the Chennai chapter actually comprises of 16% of our entire 850 entrepreneur cohort across India. And we're glad to see that we've seen a 25% year-on-year increase in the numbers that more entrepreneurs are joining the Ascent forum and benefiting largely from being part of a peer learning groups that we run and being part of the Secretariat community. With that, I would like to open